Hello again. Now the story today is taken from about 1957 in Boston, Lincolnshire. I used to belong to the Scouts, Boy Scouts, and during my younger life, from when I was 10 until after I was married, the Scouts they took over my life really. I enjoyed Scouts far more than I did school. I did quite well in the Scouts. But in 1957 I was a member of the Sea Scouts at Boston. It's the first Boston unit, Sea Scouts, and we had a headquarters on the Witham Bank. At the end of all the houses. It's changed a lot now, I know, but there was allotments afterwards. Witham Town was how you got to it, from under the railway arch and down the bottom, and our scout hut was the last building on the bank side at the end of Witham Town. I know it's changed a lot now, and there's access to some parks and walks and all kinds of things now that you wouldn't imagine, but 57, let's just work this out. 57, 67, 77, 87, 97, 2007, 2017, 67 years ago, it finished there. That was the end of Witham Town, and the headquarters, the Scout headquarters, was the last building on the river bank. Some of you will have heard of a thing called a zip wire. It's fun for kids, you know, and these leisure parks things have these, we used to call them aerial runways, and you can hang on the thing and it zips down. There's one in North Wales that goes miles. It's pretty good. It goes from high up to low down, and it takes you over canyons and quarries and all kinds of things. But anyway, our Scout unit in 1957 were quite good at what we call pioneering. It's an art form, and for Scouts you used to learn all about pioneering to get pioneering badges, and it's to do with rope work and building things out of wood and rope using lashings and knots and things like that. So in 1957 or thereabouts, one of our leaders had a connection with some folks in Market Harborough in the Midlands in Leicestershire, and our Scout unit was asked to go to Market Harborough to do some pioneering. And these folks in Market Harborough had got lots of pioneering gear, but they hadn't got the knowledge. So we went, a busload of us went, you know, for a whole weekend to Market Harborough, and we built this aerial runway and all kinds of things for people to use and enjoy, and the public were allowed on it. And I think we did rope walks and things between sheer legs, and you know, like bridges over rivers and things. Anyway, when we came home, these folks gave us all the gear. I mean, there were sheer legs, over 20 foot long they were, some of these sheer legs, and beautiful ropes. I mean, this sisal rope, let's see, this hand, how thick? Quite thick, sisal rope. One length, we were given this sisal rope, which are very heavy. I think it's about 2 inches thick. Blocks and tackle, all kinds of pulleys and things, and lots of ancillary ropes and whatever. And we brought this all back to Boston. Well, we thought, what are we going to do with all this, you know? So Scout leaders, you know, keep the troop in order, but it's the patrol leaders, the leaders of 6 boy units, who actually run the Scouts under the guidance of the Scout leaders. And we decided we'd like to do something adventurous. So what about putting an aerial runway across the River Witham from our headquarters on one side of the river right across the other side, because lots of trees on the other side, and I'm not sure whether they call it Witham Bank East or what, but it's the one with all the houses, and it's where the rowing club is now, and it backs up to Carlton Road and west side of the town. So But we planned this quite carefully. We've got the sheer legs, and we've got this size of rope we've got would actually go right across the river. easily without a join or anything. But anchoring it at this end was going to be quite difficult. So we dug a big hole at the side of the headquarters, a big hole, and we got some lengths of steel with eyes in and plates on one end, buried them in the ground at an angle to make strongholds so that we could anchor this sisal rope to this stronghold, and because using blocks and tackle tighten the thing up. But we couldn't pull this out the ground. I mean, there's trees at the other side of the river, so that was no problem, but at our side there was nothing. So we filled this hole with concrete. It was some big hole, and there's these lumps of iron sticking out with eyes on the end, and we built it. So we actually had these shear legs, which are two great big legs crossed at the top and braced, and then we had tensioning blocks and tackles and things, and we actually had the pulleys to run across the river. And we, as a Seascout unit, and because not long after the war, we gathered all kinds of stuff that folks gave us, and we had a breeches buoy, which is a life buoy with a set of trousers attached, which ships use to transfer personnel from one ship to another while they're still motoring across the ocean. They throw a rope across, tie it up somewhere high, and fasten this breeching buoy in the rope and whiz somebody across, transferring stuff and people. And we had a breeches buoy, so we used this, and I must admit, getting the tension right to stop the bod on the in the breeches buoy sinking into the river halfway across, that took some doing, because keeping the tension right, it was a huge distance, 100 yards, maybe a bit more, right across the river, 100 yards long from one side to the other. And we had the ropes to pull the bod across, we pull him across, and another rope to pull him back again. So they went across, and you could, we got bods across the other side of the river because we've got canoes and things to send folks over with. And so I think we ran this thing several times over a couple of years. Great fun. Health and safety. Well, in 1957 there wasn't such a thing, Can you imagine life without health and safety? I mean, we were responsible, and we'd been taught how to do these things, and the leaders were responsible, and we got the gear, we knew how to do it, so we just did it. I mean, can you imagine now anybody allowing this to happen? But you see, this is all about when boys were young and they needed an outlet and needed somewhere to do something exciting. And in the Scouts, you could do these things, exciting things like this, and build adventurous things, and there was no law to stop you. There was no health and safety having to do risk assessments beforehand or anything like that. You just did it. Now and again we had the odd accident. I mean, I can't imagine anybody getting seriously injured. No. We didn't even have a broken leg. We did have one lad once who climbing over a fence outside our headquarters. Was a railway. It was railway property, down the river bank, and we had this corrugated iron pegging fence about 4 or 5 foot high. Once a lad was climbing over that to get into the headquarters without using the gate, and slipped, and it caught him somewhere unfortunate. That was about the worst thing that happened, when we were doing our adventurous things at the Sea Scouts. So basically, we had a good time, and any of you boys now who can remember 1950s, before health and safety, when you're looking to do something adventurous, and the sky's the limit, and that's why you've got a group of people who have seen things and done things which you just aren't allowed anymore now, which is unfortunate. So there we are. So in 1957, a zip wire was constructed across the River Witham at Boston, and we used it several times over that year, and we had good fun with it. You couldn't run the public on it, but scouts, because we were all part of the unit, we all had great fun. One or two got wet, but it was fun times. The 1950s, a good memory. There we are. Hope you enjoyed that memory, and until the next time, cheerio.